What do you think?
I think I just missed an epic scene.
Yeah, what the heck?
I
Your
know.
attention was diverted.
I was thinking about the question you asked, and it's I mean it's like, it's like the conundrum. It's sizzling on my burner like all the time. I'm just like, why aren't we talking about this? What aren't we?
I know. That's what it maybe needs to be, like some kind of. I had this book. I don't know where it went, but it was called. Basically, it's like the guy was a consultant, and he helps like businesses like come up with core values. And this was very trendy in the 90s. Apparently, I didn't know that. But like defining your core values, because without defining your values, what can you accomplish?
I just had the lady from TED Talks called me back and asked what my message was, and I was like, oh, I wish I would have had this all written out to talk to you. And I told her over like 10 minutes, I was telling her my experience, and she's like, wow, that sounds like really like we need to hear this right now. Like you need to work on it and so she sent me a text to get my message together, like my thesis statement, of like what I actually want to accomplish and what I want to cover, as far as like the subjects that we need to look at before we evolve in the wrong direction. You know what I mean? We might have a dog issue.
Yay.
Where's the puppies?
They seem to be peacefully going around and exploring.
Oh yeah, there's Bubbles over here. Maybe that's it. Maybe I got to do a TED Talk rather, you know what I mean, than a comedy show. But I love the comedy show idea because it comes in with the sense of humor and like, I don't expect anyone to take me so seriously at the beginning, but then by the end you'll see that I'm like very deeply studied and involved in trying to figure this problem out for humanity. I've been working on this problem for 20 years now. It's an art project of mine that's been evolving, and I just have to figure out a way to get this out, the way I see it as the possibility of what we could do instead of all this crazy commotion.
I mean, I would say that that's probably a lot of our guiding life mission. Us who grew up in, we have this ideology that we have to like help other people, and we have to like save other people or whatever. Not save them, but like help them or something. Because we're also fed a lot of stories about the world that there's war and killing, and we're sensitive beings, and we're like, why does it have to be that way? So we are looking at different tools, and I've been also working on this in my life.
I see that.
And I have an idea to offer. Maybe we could do it together, or I would do it myself. I'm not sure.
Bubbles. I would love to collaborate with you, Ari. Bubbles. Mr. Bubs. Oh, we got Bubs meeting friends over here. Sorry, his legs are so short. He's working on it. They're trying to grow. Come on, Bubs. Are you getting into trouble over here? Let's walk down the beach a little bit. Jason, I laughed at Jason and told him that blue hat looked gay, and he gave it to me. The blue sun hat that he was wearing the other day. Like, dude, I have a hard time like taking anything seriously at this point. I just make jokes about like everything. It is so bad.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm kind of like, for example, someone, I don't know, I when it comes to like death of people who are more maybe like I don't know, man, I Here's what I would do. This is me, okay? So I feel like I've also been like embracing a really Socratic method since I came back to America of like, deconstructing a lot of like the things that I feel like are like leading to confusion between people, and like frustration.
Yeah.
And I would want to maybe like do like a pedagogical kind of comedic thing where you present, for example, kind of came when you were talking earlier, like maybe like what was exactly specifically what we were talking about? Like, do you remember The idea that came to mind was like, oh, you should present like different examples that will like little stories, almost like little fables, like ethically, like morally ambiguous kind of stories to get people to think about the meaning of certain words, like what is pono, what is palau, like, oh yeah, to get them to define their values, basically.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think the exercise of like taking these like morally ambiguous kind of situations is interesting. It promotes critical thinking about like where we stand, and we don't have to have an opinion right away. But like, for example, if we're talking about like the dog cutting off the dog's balls, like what would be like pono and palau? What do we stand for? That fundamental question is how much of nature do we control, and do we let other species potentially grow to the point where it harms the human species? Like, how are we fighting for the human species? Like, when many people find dogs to be more palatable companions than other humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
some people are annoyed by dogs, and some people need them around.
Some people need them more than other humans who cause a lot of the trauma with English and words.
And their fear added to it and everything will cause a lot of problems. So yeah, it's a weird thing, right? It's a huge question.
Or maybe you don't have to present it as comedy, but I don't think people are used to like dialoguing, especially when it's a woman talking, and like not calling it an argument. Like I don't know. Ever since I came back to America, it's like I've been called like argumentative and stuff like that when I'm speaking the same way that I did in France, which is very like explorative. Like they grow up, like they're educated with this like, okay, let me think about that, and here's another point, and oh, that, like, you know, it's just like this like exploration.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I long for that, really. I mean, I feel so out of place in America because of that, actually. Like my constant inquisition and just like, you know, like all these different subjects are just always sizzling on the burner with me. So, I mean, that's why I feel so comfortable with you. I feel like our experiences together are like an ongoing conversation, and we can push pause on it and come back to exactly where we left off. Like there was no time in between and no expectations, or you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just great. I feel like, you know what I mean? I can be completely open and not, you know what I mean? Like inhibited at all. So I feel like that will lead to some eye-opening experiences, like conversations. Like we're gonna just reflecting
Even
between each other, right? I you know, that's actually like it's like twin flame energy, you know, not like soulmate at all, right? That kind of thing, but twin flame. We have like, we reflect and actually stoke each other's fires in just the right way. It's kind of perfect.
That's good. And fires also need oxygen. Like sometimes you need a little time to simmer and like let things kind of simmer, and then you might meet it. Your flames might meet again, or whatever, I don't know. Or maybe you're my oxygen in a certain way, and I'm your oxygen, and we're all like feeding each other's flames. I don't know.
Or like when the lava hits the ocean.
What's that like? What happens? Steam?
Thermo. What is it called?
Let me get your shirt.
Oh yeah. Here. By Solar and Teresa, right? It was when the lava first crossed the road down in Calipana in 2016 and everything. We were able to ride our bikes down and stand on the edge of the lava cliff, and right when the lava hit the ocean, just coming down from Pu'u'o'o vent. And like 2 days after, I snuck in. The ranger wouldn't let us pass these certain ropes or whatever, but they left at midnight. So I snuck out there at like 12:30. And I'm all standing on the cliffs, and there's just lava pouring over here on this side of me and this side. I'm like filming all along the edge and everything, just so dangerous. 2 days later, the entire shelf, like a block worth of like lava, crumbled into the ocean. And then there was just this spout, this river coming out, dude. For like 2 weeks, it was just like shooting way off into the ocean. But I was like, dude, I was like standing right there the other day. It was like I could have been what like nudged it over, you know? It was so
wow.
I'm so dumb, dude.
Ah! Oh my goodness. I love you. The brothers are a little different today.
Hydrothermic reaction.
Hydrothermic reaction.
Right? No, something like it. Bubs is totally like laying it down over there.
I love to observe them after so much time apart.
Yeah,
Come back
they
together.
so remember each other. I mean, like,
Today they didn't bark at all at each other, just for the record.
right? Yeah, today they were just like, oh, there you are. What's up, bro? Well, it's also because I prepared. Bubbles was helping me look for you. He was all looking out the window. I'm like, look for Ari and Juju. And he was like, what? He got so excited. He was all checking all the cars and looking so close, like all the movement. He was like, all right on it. He was like, no.
That's funny. He knew the name, Juju and Ari.
Yeah, oh yeah. He got so excited.
That's so cute. I love that. You're teaching him English.
I mean, I talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
I make jokes like he's my psychiatrist. Like rather than my emotional support animal, he's my psychiatrist, right? He's just lagging on getting me my prescriptions for weed and Adderall. I'm like, dude, when is that coming in already?
Oh my god. You're still looking for Adderall?
Yeah, right? No, the courts are preventing me because of my stupid case. They're like, we don't know what this guy is. So they send me to the mental institution to see if I'm crazy. And then all they come back with is that I have some severe ADHD and high intelligence. And I would be genius status intelligence if I wasn't so ADHD, because I was sitting there analyzing the test and talking about the test and stuff while I was taking it. And I didn't even realize it was an IQ test. I was just like, I was like, oh, whatever, test me all you want. I was just like, you know what I mean? That's all they can come back with is that I have ADHD. And I'm like, that's what I've been saying this entire time. I'm like,
You can film
Gee,
me. I'm pretty good at doing this without ever flashing anybody.
I'm a genius, artist, creative genius that has ADHD so bad I can't even take care of myself. I'm just like an undiscovered.
That's why I bring the food to creative geniuses, because we just need time to create.
Yeah.
And I do too!
You got to be alone. You got to find that alone time and like really like just stir on it, you know? And I even have to record everything. Like when I have ideas, I listen to it back later and I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Like
Yeah.
I have to tell myself to follow through on my ideas like a dozen times sometimes for me to follow through. I get so overwhelmed with just all these little things just all the time.
Well, life is always happening. That's the thing, is like we could always be like, but I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of projects. Like I want to hang out with you because you're like on the energy of actually producing and actually putting out stuff. You know what I mean? And that's like, I think it's important for me, maybe because I fear death before I got to express everything.
Yeah.
Or I want to be like, I don't know if I want to be like, I just want my mark to be there. That's what it is.
That's,
like
I mean,
feel
art
like I've gotten
feels like a
erased so
safe,
much.
like, you know, if you can be an artist and then your art is saved, you know, for centuries. That's one way of living forever, I think. And right, I mean, and I love the idea, like when I wrote the Declaration of Interdependence, the idea of being a forefather of the future, like the way we look up to the people who wrote the Constitution. The way we look up to where, I mean, they were pretty much trying to see the future as much as they could.
Yeah, that's what
And
we're
I'm like,
Do you know what my name just changed to on Instagram?
What?
Founding Mother.
Awesome, dude.
Forefather, you just
Love
said.
it. I love
yeah, but
it.
I might change it again.
Dude, that's
But
epic.
it was when I was in a mood of like, okay, like we gotta go. Like let's do some. Let me activate some people.
And if
like,
we don't, who is going to? That's what I'm like looking around going like, are we all just seriously just waiting for somebody to do something about this? Like what the shit is going on? We're all just standing here letting it just crumble through our fingers, you know? It's just like,
I think we need to relook at the Declaration of Interdependence, and I would like to like see it on a Google Doc. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would like
I mean,
to
it was
see like
written
how
in
much.
2010, and so all these things that I was kind of like, you know, foreseeing as becoming conflictual are all now coming to a precipice. It's just like, oh my God, like AI evolving with economy driving it and all that. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, we need to design AI with like more like a democratic kind of like consciousness, like actually trying to achieve like what's best for humans in the decisions we're making, like in the long run, like
I'm focused on what we can do in our lives, for
Yeah,
real. Like
yeah.
how we can start it in our lives at this level. Like, for example, those are very big questions that you're talking about. And honestly, I don't really see the way forward with like what we would do, like to like, unless it's like having a conversation. But you know, there are ways that we can like make it so that this also like supports our life. Like there's a clothing brand that just started called like, I seen it on Instagram, clothing brand that's just started called like Figure It Out Apparel, and they are talking about like what ethics is. They're defining it, and I don't know, like, and they have like a brand that's like all about like critical thinking or stuff like that. Like I thought that was a cool idea because it's like you promote this through like buyable tokens, and like, I mean, we are in a capitalistic system, and you know, but like we could also just like have conversations that are like, I don't know, like taking topics and kind of exploring like the different sides to them, like the dog balls thing, and like kind of leaving it for food for thought for people to decide what, like, just interesting debates and conversations. I don't know.
What do you boys think? Would you vote for balls?
Of course they would. But we can't ask them, right? They have no consent.
Speak if you vote for balls, Bubs. Speak if you vote for balls. Bubs, speak if you vote for balls. Speak if you want your balls. I guess he doesn't care. Oh well. I guess use them or lose them, right?
Use them or lose them.
I'm gonna zoom in on his nuts. They're like the family jewels, dude. Whoa.
I know, I agree. It's like they haven't taken them away yet.
Dude, and people being on my case about it. This lady at church the other day, I'm just like, oh yeah, sorry, I got Bubs barking. He led me over here on his leash over to the neighbor dog girlfriend he's got going over here, and they were all just flirting and being super cute, so I had to film that. And then all the other dogs were jealous watching it going on and started barking and stuff. And I was just like, during church, right, at the next door property and stuff, I was like, and she's all just like, hey, Jesus would do this and do that and all this, and I was like, and then he would do the helicopter. You know? I was like making jokes on my YouTube while I was supposed to be sitting quietly, reverently in church. I remember that when I was a little kid. It was so hard trying to stay and be reverent and silent when my mind is all over the place, and everything that the preacher would say would strike all these questions in my mind, and I'd want to ask him.
Yeah. Oh, you'd want to ask. I really like the songs that were very filled with metaphor. Like, not like, oh, Lord, deliver us. Even though the melodies were very good, I like the melodies.
Right.
My favorite songs that stuck out to me for church were, we're sitting in the same soup, you and me. I am a carrot, you are a pea. Like, messages like that.
Wow.
That was like, we're in the same, that's a beautiful metaphor.
Right?
Like, we look a little different, but we're all creating this soup together.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, one of my things, I wanted to start a new religion that just kind of made sure that all of the religions were right, you know? Like, we all see our own, we all find enlightenment through different pathways, you know? And so...
So what is enlightenment?
Enlightenment, like becoming aware and conscious, like conscious of universal consciousness, like becoming, you know, elevated above the human instincts to become, you know, like the selfish natural traits that are embedded from fight or flight, you know, like once if we can overcome the fight or flight mentality, then we're able to elevate to a higher consciousness of empathy and understanding. And so, you know, like Joe Rogan was talking the other day about with who was he talking with? Bernie Sanders. And they were asking about what do they expect everyone to do if like the New World Order is coming and they're gonna, you know, they said that we would all own nothing and be happy about it when this is all over, right? And they're like, you know, that's kind of, it's part of what I was saying in the Declaration of Interdependence is that ownership really is an illusion. Like, you can't really own, even your body, you have to give back to nature eventually. And really all you do own is your time. And that should be so precious. It should be so like the most valuable thing in your life is just how you spend your time and how you share and how you help your loved ones grow by the way you spend your time. If you share, you know what I mean? That is how you emanate your love. And so I was picturing that hitting its maximum and having universal love, like global universal love for everyone, as we are all the same family, really.
It sounds so simple when you say it, you know, and I do wish for that but it's so different from our reality that we've always known.
Yeah, they've taught us to be monsters. Capitalism has turned us into shits, you know? Like
I don't know if it's capitalism or if it's like okay, let's use a different word than capitalism.
Capitalism.
No. Like
it turned me into a shit. I mean, right?
Are you saying like possession and ownership over like or like having like, are you saying that it's like from when we went to like a tribal sharing systems to an agricultural era where we start to amass more resources than other people? That's what created us. That's what caused us to be violent. I mean,
no. I mean, it was narcissism since the beginning. Since Neanderthals were taken out because they were peaceful, because they were musical, and they were not like and the Homo sapiens ganged up on them, gaslit them, and took them out. Like they eliminated the competition rather than
so there was competition for food
and they were attracted to the women, so they were, you know what I mean, they went and took their women and killed them all off, and you know what I mean, that's how we ended up all interbred. But
so then if we're going off of this information, then it would be like we all have to feel secure with like being fed. And like,
well, you eliminate all of that desperation, and then there'd be no need for crime. People would just be able to enjoy their lives. Thank you for getting me back on that track. Just living, learning. To me, that's what I mean. I've figured out a way to not really have to work. My whole life, I've just been able to just like sit back. My art kind of comes when I'm all inspired. And I've been able to survive, you know, with by growing my own weed in Humboldt and blowing my own glass and having all these things just that I was passionate about, just happened to be able to create income along the way enough to get me by. And I spent all my time just either learning or creating or teaching or loving and laughing. You know what I mean?
If you're gonna be saying that capitalism is the problem, I need to read a book that I should have read a long time ago, because everything that you've done to earn and enjoy your life has been within a system of capitalism.
But I mean, I would have never sold a single piece of art if I didn't have to. I would have still created. I wasn't working because of capitalism. I was working because I wanted to try glass blowing. It was fun. I was getting so much better.
Wasn't it fun to sell it too? To like have people like exchange
the off. I always had to go for way too low of a price that like minimized my time to like minimum wage type stuff, and I would have way rather kept the art. And now this lady took all my photos, all my evidence of all my art is gone. Like the last of my glass sculptures, my paintings, all of this stuff. And I feel like as an artist, I feel like this lady just sucked out my soul. To everything that I've ever worked for in my whole life, and just like I'm gonna just vanish and be erased into non-existence because of it. Like as an artist, that was what I was.
Yeah, but okay, what if that little that you got for your glass blowing, that energy that was exchanged, the money that was given to you, helped you pay a few months more rent and have that time to create, to do things that were valuable to you, you know, like if you get to do something.
Yes, I was so blessed.
And that you love to do, and it helps you like live, like, you know, like that's pretty good. You know, if it maybe you didn't get as much as you wanted.
No, but I felt lucky to not be at some other job that I just hated, and then I was like just giving my time away to some corporation that was just taking advantage of the situation.
I don't agree with that either. I think that like sometimes a corporation job is like exactly the kind of job a person wants. Low stress. They don't have to do their own business. They just clock in, get their money, clock out. You don't have to being a business owner is like a lot of stress. You know, because you're it's really, really great to be an employee actually, because you don't have to stress about it. You just go in and make the money, and you get to live your life. You get to be as independent as can be. No stress.
You're right.
You know, like
you're right. No, you're totally right. And that's that's everyone's choice. And so, you know, with me, I tried temporary service. I did temporary service, and I would just go to different, like I would call in on the days that I had open to work, and I would just see what was open for the day. And they knew because I'm autodidactic, they could just explain something to me in like 5 minutes, and I would be able to just do the whole day as good as any of their employees that have been working there for years. And so I had just different factory jobs, different farm jobs, like working different tractors and forklifts and all this different machinery, chainsaws, all these cool things that I just learned, all these different industries, and saw, every way you could spend your life working. It was a really good experience. I enjoyed it, but after a few days, I could see instantly that, wow, I'd just be like, this would be unhealthy to be breathing all this dust all the time, or this would be so unhealthy on your mind or on your back, standing like this all day long. And I could see like, oh, I can't do this, or I'll end up, mangled in so many ways. And I already got carpal tunnel from working at Wendy's, flipping burgers and fries. By the time I was 19, my hands, I'm like, as an artist, I already ruined my main asset, like the most valuable thing to me. I ruined my hands by working so hard for these companies and getting minimum wage, barely surviving. I was just like, wow, dude, I'm not meant for work. That's not, I was not built for this. And watching the clock and stuff, it felt like torture. It felt like my mind is going so fast, right? So to other people, they see me and it seems like I'm a snail, like a sloth just moving so slow. But it's because I'm doing a million things at once. Like I'm thinking about all these different components to every experience, and comparing and analyzing.
Yeah. She's still screaming as they run away.
Oh my God! And as our pack of dogs attacks this poor child.
Thank you for not barking. You guys are so good. Thank you for not barking, good boys. Thank you. Very good boys. Thank you for not barking. Yeah, she would have been so scared if you did any barking.
You guys, no traumatizing children, please. That girl just lost a shoe. You guys owe that little girl a shoe now. I'm gonna sue you, dogs. Seriously.
Thank you for not barking. That was very good. Very good. My good boy. Such a good boy. There he goes. He's like, I'm gonna give Ponder some love too. I love these boys. You're so good. No barking. Thank you. Thank you, good boy. Thank you. No barking. Shh. Thank you. Can I love you too? Yes, you're so cute. Shh. No barking. Shh. No barking. Thank you. I love it. Oh, hi. No barking.
He's jealous. He's just like...
Yes. People think it's weird how my dog kisses me.
French kiss. Juju.
Yeah, you know what? I heard that a dog's mouth is cleaner than a human's.
I don't know about that. What do you think, Juju?
I believe it.
Okay.
I transmute it.
Maybe.
My baby.
Maybe metaphorically, I sure have some naughty jokes coming out of his mouth.
A what?
I sure make a lot of naughty jokes.
I mean, people have...
Dirty jokes.
Yeah.
It's like I've got like a fourth grade mentality that way. Everything is like balls jokes.
It's funny. Ooh la la. Okay, so when I was reading this book, it was saying that a value that 90% of people have is honesty, but everybody abandoned it by the end. Everybody abandoned it. All the groups abandoned it by the end of the sessions because no one could come to a consensus of what honesty means.
Oh, so
Yeah.
just even defining it becomes taboo.
Like, people are maybe also uncomfortable with the fact that, like, maybe they want lies sometimes.
Yeah.
People realize, I think they want lies sometimes. Like, they don't want to be told if they're, like, fat or something.
Yeah.
Which, like, is nothing wrong with fat. But in our culture, it has been demonized.
You're right. I made a fat joke. Finally, on my page, I made a reel the other day, and I made a Viagra blue pill joke. And it's just, I knew I was going to get in trouble for it. I knew I was going to lose so many people were going to hate me for even going there. Like saying, you know what I mean? That just, I was like, it's not because she's old and fat now, that kind of thing, it's your dick's, don't listen to your dick at all, that kind of thing. But to me, I was laughing my ass off so much as I was even trying to think of the joke. I was like, I have to say it. I have to, I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Sometimes that happens.
And it is funny. I've been up to 220 pounds, and when I went to the hospital, I was 133. Like I almost lost 100 pounds off of what I was. And I knew it. And I think about my life when I was in that situation and I was stuck. I was stuck with baby mama. I was unhealthy mentally because I was being abused. I was in a relationship where I was being abused, and I was escaping in my office. I was escaping on the internet, doing internet chess and just escaping the abuse rather than confronting it. And I finally confronted her about the abuse, and it turned into straight up violence, and she tried to turn it on me, and that's how I lost my relationship with my baby mama. It turned into a 4-year court battle after that. And what I learned was that I was grateful for the courts. They are here to prevent witches from getting burned. Even though I kind of got burned as a witch by the court here, they're still supposed to try to get to the bottom of it. We're supposed to be treated innocent until we're proven guilty.
I love it.
And we have, you know what I mean? Like
I
a process to go through to make sure that this isn't just a bunch of gaslighting garbage and,
I love it.
control tactics and whatnot.
Good that it's so thorough. It should be thorough.
Right? So I'm as American as, dude, I am so patriotic when it comes to like being grateful for my country. I work with the police, like I'm trying to help them solve crimes. Like I'm not ever going to tattle on anybody because weed or whatever, because that would be hypocritical. But dude, but the fact that I'll talk to the police, like some people have tried to label me as a narc and whatever, you know what I mean? Because my authenticness, my filming of everything, I feel like I'm under threat because people have tried to make that, out. And so I feel like we do need a system, and we do need to respect it. The people need to trust the police. We need to be able to trust
Absolutely.
the police.
I've never been against police. Like
they're heroes.
They have when, of course, like when there's like the big media ties, or all the injustices, that you hear about, you're against that. But like as an institution, I think police were created to be like peacekeepers, basically.
Yeah,
And like if you want to break up the United States, like if that's what people want to do, like there's just a lot to rebuild, and it might be a good thing if that's what people want. But like I do feel like we can also get introduced again and like reclaim our institutions and like form them in ways that
right, like the voting system. That's why that was the core message in the Declaration of Interdependence was that we need a global voting platform. Not United States, not but if we just had an app, like they made the Electoral College because they couldn't count the actual votes and the ballots, and they didn't, they had to guard them and take them in chests and all this stuff to try to make sure. But now we've got like the internet and the technology to be very precise about which votes are from real people. We've got authentication on the internet all the time to make sure we're a real person, right? For all these different things. It would be so easy to count actual votes, and we could all just vote on decisions together. We don't need representatives at all if we were able to all just have a say in what's going on. And already we spend so much time and energy voting with our likes, our thumbs ups and our thumbs downs and all the comments and everything. I saw that back in 2008 when Facebook started. I was like, man, this is almost forming into a type of democracy as is. And you can see how many of the comments are made by people that are just uneducated about the subjects. And so I was like, you just need to be able to filter out the people that know how their votes are going to actually impact reality.
Or when you present the poll, you present it in an engaging way, saying here's the pros, here's the cons. What do you vote for?
Exactly.
Like whatever.
Exactly. And you know how the vote would actually impact reality, and how it would how it would affect everyone else and the earth and so on. So I was like, maybe we could just make it like a game, add cryptos. So every time your vote counts for something, you earn a crypto. And then every time you, when you introduce the votes, you get cryptos for just bringing up a vote
or it adds to your credit score, so it doesn't have to be actual money.
Exactly, and that would become some people's job. They would love to just be a part of democracy and spend their time helping the world become better. Like that is something you could do with, instead of needing jobs, we could actually be.
It's like a democratic Turk worker. Do you know what Turk workers are on Amazon?
No.
Oh, Turk workers are like the people who like create everything on the internet. Basically, they just do a lot of the back end stuff.
So I've been waiting to meet somebody that could help me design this thing, somebody that could put in, it's going to be as complicated as Facebook or Reddit or Twitter, These Reddit is kind of becoming a form of this. Twitter is becoming a form. You can vote and add votes on Twitter. The way I had it designed in my mind back then was that we would first we could vote on who would be experts in the field that could write the questions. So we could have people that actually understand, the physics and the scientists that help discover these things or whatever. We could vote, and if they want to be on the council that writes the questions, they could decide which 5 or 7 or however many questions go towards the vote, and then people would be able to get that many credits, that many votes would count, and a higher intelligent vote, the people that actually understand the dynamics, would make more of an impact than the people who are just voting to earn and just voting for guessing or propaganda.
I was a journalist before, and I think that's what's missing from this equation. Like, you're not, it's just a lot of work to, like, for somebody to organize for these kinds of people on all these different subjects to write something. I think you need, like, middlemen who can, like, go do the research, present it in a super clear way, like a media or, like, journalists.
Right, so
or
they would be on the
the
council. We
writers.
would have the journalists be one of the people on the councils or whatever that could actually, and they could assign.
And they don't, certain people.
They could have research teams
but
and whatever.
Exactly. You don't necessarily want maybe like one doctor on a council. It would be better, I think, to have somebody who's paid to go talk to a bunch of different people and get different opinions. You know
right?
what I mean?
A politician and a journalist and or a couple of each, and this council decides what questions need to be asked, and then when the people vote, they answer all the questions, and then the more intelligent vote has more say in what's going on, and it's not just
the more intelligent vote.
Yeah, if you answer the question, say seven of the 7 questions right, your vote counts 7 times. You earn 7 cryptos for that, rather than people that just watch some commercial.
Score points.
Somebody watched a commercial saying, "Yeah, we should put fluoride in our water."
I think that's too complicated. I think it should be open to everybody who wants to participate. That's democratic.
Oh yeah.
That's democratic.
Of course.
It should be open to everybody who wants to participate and just presented in a way that has context. That's just like people can look at the both sides, understand the both sides very quickly, and then make a decision.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we should introduce this whole, that's why, who's more intelligent. And, like, testing is so subjective, too.
No, that's why I'm saying you would need the council. We would vote on who would be the right ones to write the questions for the vote so that we make sure that it isn't going, like, from propaganda-driven entities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It has to be an independent body, like a media.
Like you wouldn't ask Bill Gates, you know what I mean, to be the one to decide the questions on whether we should get, you know what I mean, whatever. You want to ask doctors and people that are actually like helping people in Africa, all these, you know what I mean, like people that are known human rights activists, people that have earned their reputation as being honorable. Honor is going to have so much more value in the future than expertise. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that you just talked about. It's interesting. I don't know about that. It's interesting that you just talked about Africa, because in my mind, I feel like what we need to do is have people first, like, be more engaged in, like, in order to stoke involvement, like, make it first from, like, a very local level. Like, local votes are super important because people see that change in their day-to-day.
That's why I love the Occupy Wall Street movement, because it was all these little local units of people that were all voting on stuff in person, and they had the little hand motions like for up and down and voting on the spot for how even the conversation of the night would go, and what topics should be focused on and all that. I really, but it also, I noticed, wasted a lot of time dealing with semantics and like
what wasted a lot of time? Occupy Wall Street?
Yeah, they just needed leadership. I could clearly see it was like democracy without leadership was just chaos. It was, you know what I mean? It was going nowhere. They were just spinning their tires in the mud kind of thing and just sinking. So it was
probably because core values and stuff like that needed to be talked about and defined. I wish I was around for that time. I would have loved to help hold discussions, but maybe it's also educated us and influenced us to be where we are today.
Yeah. And my idea was ahead of its time. I know it was. I knew at the time, I was like, dude, nobody's going to even want to listen to this stuff. People were trying to say I was anarchist or anti-government, all this stuff. And I'm like, no, this is like the most patriotic thing you can do, is like try to come up with a way for democracy to be more efficient and for the people. Like, we need to find a way for, you know what I mean? Like the Declaration of Independence, that's how it starts, is saying that any system that becomes corrupted and stops serving the well-being of the people, it is our duty as citizens to replace it with a system that is for the people. And there's no doubt. I mean, that's...
Totally. I love it. I love this spirit.
So...
Yeah.
someone has to have the conversation. And in the way the world is right now, it is
That's really
dangerous to even talk like this. It's
I think we need to start doing this, maybe start implementing it, like, if possible, if we could do it at like a local level where we are right now, it would be nice to like try to get some traction. Like I know about the world, okay, but like maybe we could start with here and like
Hawaii is like a hub of international influence. It's like everybody, you know what I mean? Like we already are an example of what the world will be like once it's globalized, because we've got people from everywhere here living symbiotically. On land, it isn't even like officially like legally owned by the United States. We're on the Hawaii Kingdom, but they live peacefully. The Queen chose to surrender to avoid the violence. You know what I mean? It's like it was a peaceful transition in a sense. I mean, you know, as could be, and it's hard. It's hard for that resentment to go away. You know what I mean? But we're lucky. We're really blessed to be able to hold down the fort for the world in a sense. The whole Pacific is kind of like at peace because the United States has, you know what I mean? It's got that top dog on the playground kind of stance, like no one's fighting or else kind of thing, and it's worked so far, but it's hitting a boiling point right now, and I think they know that, and it's.
I think they're waiting for us. I think all of it has been transpiring, and the movement's been building, and it's probably not just us. Probably other people are having conversations too. You know.
No, you're right.
But
It is. We're all coming to that. It's just like, what do we do with it? You know, how do we how do we use what we've learned for the better?
Do you think anyone will want to listen to? I think that this is an interesting conversation, and I think it could like, yeah. That was like a good dialogue that we just had about that, your idea about, you know, the voting systems, and we're kind of fleshing it out. I think it's like nice to have these creative discussions where we like think about, where we take ownership, and we're like I told you, no, it shouldn't be crypto, it should be credit, for example. Like I'm thinking about different things, like, okay, what's gonna be like easiest?
Yeah.
Like, you know, we like refine it when we talk about it with more people.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to make it fun and engaging and interesting and educational and valuable. Like I want people to be able to come up by being involved. The more you're involved with, you know, like inflation would be the opposite of like you know, us versus our resources. As the currency inflates and we create more of these whatever cryptos or credits or whatever, that would show like the more interactivity we have of solving problems and solutions, and the world would be becoming a utopia. As the currency inflates, the world becomes more at peace with all, you know, all systems are equalizing and balancing out in that sense. And so it would actually show, right, as we all become rich in the system, we would need less and less as we all just take care of each other more and more, and everybody's, you know, like everybody's bases are covered, and it's not competitive, destructive, dominating, you know, like we can all just help each other, elevate each other. I mean, there's so much room, so much abundance everywhere. If we just notice, if we just take what we've got and just choose to be more efficient with it, you know, rather than sequestering and holding and trying to gather, you know what I mean, as big of a pile for ourselves as we can. It's just like, dude, who needs more than what we need, right? I mean, I would love to be so free that I could just wander the earth and not even have to hold down any kind of pile of anything. I never want to have anything anyone would want to rob from me or take again, you know?
You're talking about, like, in order to change our value systems, because, you know, having a nice car, having multiple houses, those are all status symbols, you know, in our culture. You can't deny that. Like, it's not just status symbols for ego, it's also for survival of your kid. Like, you know, people are like amassing wealth because they care about their kid and they want to like I'm not talking about like maybe Jeff Bezos level, but like, you know, people who have like more than people in Puna, Pahoa, or whatever. You know, who don't really, some people don't have anything.
Yeah.
You know? And, like...
And in those people's eyes, they just like, they think all these poor people are just having all these kids. What do we do about it? Kind of thing. It's just like, you know what I mean?
No, I don't think they necessarily look or pay attention to or think that.
It would be the polar opposite of thinking that your family deserves more than another.
I don't think they think that they deserve more than another. I think that just like, I don't know. I believe that if someone does amass a certain amount of like wealth, I guess I am becoming a little bit more pro-capitalist. Guys, don't chase chickens.
No chasing
Thank you.
chickens.
Very good boy. Very good boys. No hunting chickens. Thank you, good boys. Very good boys. Like, I have to read...
Bub, stay.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if money is a tool to get things done and a lot of people are in survival mode, I think that's why people do try to amass capital, wealth, resources. Okay? Like, that's why they're not just going to give everything away. I have a little bit in savings right now. And I feel like, should I be giving it all away? You know, what's the justification for me even saving $2,000, $3,000?
Yeah.
Like, what, you know, like, I'm like...
But say you knew that you were going to be given like $1,000 a month or whatever for the rest of your life, no questions asked, no, you know, nobody could interrupt that or whatever. It would never go away. Like the 401ks, all this stuff that's good.
Universal basic income, yeah.
You just, you know, right? Say just enough that you could pay your rent, you could have gas and keep your car, whatever, nice car, and then on top of that $1,000, you could still be an artist and make millions off of getting a hit album out there as well.
I don't know enough about universal basic income to be able to talk about it. I've heard about the concept first when it was introduced in France.
I'm asking you, would you still do art if you had all your money taken care of? Would you still create art and want to be a musician? And would you still want to be creative and impactful and influenceable?
Yeah, you know what I've been doing? Because I feel very financially secure in my life. You know what I do is, number one, I help get food to other people. Number two, I look at things that I think, like I do safety inspections on the town and make sure it's like safe and sturdy, you know?
It's like Tisha looking after the dogs too. When she went to India, she's all saving all these wild dogs and stuff. I was like, oh my God, she's such a superhero, dude. It's crazy.
But like,
so cool. She's like the busiest woman I know. She's still taking all this time out to save the dogs.
I guess we would work out. I guess we would like use our muscles. I guess we would work on getting food and preparing food.
Right, like the Amish, they all help each other build new homes. They like all the Amish people in the area come and build it, and they finish it in like 2 days flat. Like they'll build a house for one of their church members, you know, and just everybody donates and joins in. Huge potluck feasts as they go. All the women are cooking and all this stuff. It's like, you know what I mean? Everybody donates and feels like they did a part, and they feel happy to bless these people with this brand new home, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the Amish also don't probably allow their kids to read everything because they don't want their kids to get a taste for the globalized world and the values of the globalized world. To get a taste for travel as a status also. Travel is also status, just like a nice car.
I totally plan, like that is my main goal, is to be able to travel and see the world.
I
like,
mean, yeah,
freely.
And it's something that you want to do for sure. I just like I do question travel and how accessible it is. Like,
right, my universal income probably wouldn't cover that. You know, if I was just getting $1,000 a month or whatever, I mean, maybe in Thailand I could live pretty well off $1,000 a month, but you know, all of that would balance out eventually, I think. I see past borders. I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even acknowledge them as a real thing. It's just like this weird.
But we live on an island.
And well, yeah, right.
So it is a real thing.
Yeah, well, water borders are real.
Hey, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Yes, you are. You're so sweet. Yes, you are.
You were so happy we went to the beach to see our friends, huh?
My boy is such a good boy too. I love both of you.
Yeah, Mr. Bob's hanging out with Juju. Yeah, Juju, your brother. Yeah.
People ask me if Juju was abused.
If he was abused.
I'm like, why? And they're like, because he's so calm, you know, the calm dogs. Or he's so sensitive.
He came from Indigo,
sensitive.
so he might have been sexually abused.
I don't think so. I think he was just a sensitive boy to begin with. He was like always just like observant and sensitive, and that doesn't mean he was abused.
Yeah. He's just a deep thinker, that's all.
Yeah.
They are so much smarter than anybody would ever believe, dude. Like, they are so aware.
I know.
It's crazy. And
They're
just
so aware, he says.
telepathically bonded to us, too. It was just like, I believe he, like, as soon as you probably want to go, he just knows and walks up. Just like you don't even probably have to call him.
The thing is, he has a mind of his own, and he doesn't always want to leave.
Yeah.
So he'll like.
If he's having fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Teenagers, I tell you, you teenagers are so silly.
Yeah.
You good boy, Jojo. Oh yeah, you're so good. Oh, you're so good. Oh yeah.
The way Juju licks you is like different from Bubbles. Bubbles always has like a lot of happy energy. Juju's can be a little more calming. Sorry, I don't mean to compare. It's not a competition. You guys are so beautiful in your own ways. I just love to witness you.
No, it's good. It's nice to see the similarities.
Yeah. So sweet. Same litter. How special is that?
And I see that, that genetics, we were bringing that up with the dogs. I wanted to mention just inbred dogs to these genetic lines. This video the other day of the lady's dogs are for
inbred?
branding.
Are they inbred?
Well, no, min pins. No,
Hey! That's not okay!
No.
Thank
No
you.
biting your brother. No. What are you doing? You be nice.
Go boy. No, but
No jelly dogs. No jelly dogs. Bubbles,
that's a good
dog
boy.
out, Bubs.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you for being nice.
Nice.
That's a good boy. Good boy.
So yeah, the ladies, those $4,000 dogs that those ladies had in that video the other day, I made dogs are for branding. I never heard of this breed, whatever. She's like, they're border terriers from the border between Wales and England. And I'm like, well, they're royal dogs. That is so silly, dude.
I love my boy.
I'm jelly over here. Oh yeah. So I was just cracking up because the lady, as soon as I told her I wanted to stud Bubbles out, she was like, well, there's a clinic down there that'll do it for free. And I was
To do what?
They'll clip his balls for free. That was her automatic, was just like,
But what did you say?
I first brought up that I wanted to stud him out and
Let's stud him out.
let people fly us to different places so that he could sleep with their dog, so they could have his children, if they want to breed their dog with him, since he's such a genetic masterpiece.
People say that about Juju too. They're like, he's a special dog.
Dude, really, they're good. They're a nice crossbreed, and his little legs and stuff. He's like, he's a turbo Dachshund Chihuahua, like fox terrier. He's just amazing. I mean, he's the fastest little dog, so smart, so loyal, such a good hunter. If they wanted him for hunting,
Yeah, they do hunt chickens.
they're not.
But we've trained them not to, and people told me I would never be able to train him not to, and I have.
They get along with
He's
chickens just
smart.
fine, but they can't help the chase. Once something
No,
runs
but-
away from them,
no,
they
he can stop. He can stop
I've
because Juju will stop
tried.
mid-chase.
He
I swear,
chases
he'll
like
chase
doves.
He'll
He just
stop.
runs into a flock of doves like Olive. He's just like, yeah.
Yeah,
And he
he's
loves
so
watching
cute.
them all fly in all directions.
so
He's
cute.
like, yeah, I did that, yeah.
No, I mean killing the chicken.
No, they would never. Yeah, I don't think they would do. No, and when he chases cats, he stops like about 5 feet away. Once the cat just stops and raises their hair, like, what are you gonna do? He's like, I don't know. I never caught a cat before. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
If you do want one of these dogs for a hunting dog, they do kill chickens very well.
Oh no!
But I've trained him not to.
You didn't. Oh,
He knows not to.
no killing chickens.
Well, it's a useful skill for some people who want chicken.
If you're trying to catch chicken for dinner, I guess. Oh no!
They can be
Oh
hunting dogs.
no! Don't tell me!
They
Don't tell
definitely
me!
kill
it's
rats. They're rat dogs.
I mean, they're probably that's probably the thing. Tunnels and stuff, because of his shape. He's probably meant for digging in tunnels after like ferrets or some shit.
Oh, he gets
Weasel
rats
hunting
when they're
dogs.
like going. Like once we had one in the house, and he got it when it was really quick going across the room, And he didn't kill it right on command, but I told him to kill it. It was instinctual. I felt horrible about it, but anyway.
Well,
yeah.
he thought he was doing his job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad that he did it and not me. I mean, I probably would have put the rat outside.
Yeah.
But it was in there for weeks.
He would have had to do that the next night instead of the night that it happened. But yeah, and so that's what I was gonna say. Like animals are, some animals we can't just let them breed out of control and take over all of our systems. We're working really hard to grow the human food over here, and maybe we've made mistakes with monocropping and all these things that we're figuring out. We'll eventually learn how to grow fruit jungles instead of these monocrops and stuff, and be more efficient with our water and our waste and all this stuff. Composting. I mean, there's efficiency issues we could work on, but like ultimately we do want, we want this earth to be habitable for as long as possible, and we're finding out that nature has all of the right components for balance already, and us stepping in and trying to monocrop things and just trying to take charge and do it in our controlled, orderly way, it doesn't actually work out. Like the order is not a long-term, like genetic diversity is what creates longevity for the species. It's in plants, right? The potato famine in Ireland, all that, they eventually were going with the big round white potatoes. I can't remember what you call it, but because it was the easiest to clean, easiest to grow, fastest for the most yield, for the fastest growing, with the least amount of like negative space in them and all that, right? But if you look at South America, there's like 60 some different varieties of potatoes, and they're all shaped different colors, different nutrient sets, and they can handle different conditions. Some will freeze or can handle different freezing levels or different viruses and whatever. And so when the potato famine of Scotland or Ireland or whatever it was back in the 1900s, when it hit, those people were like 70% of their diet was these potatoes, and that was their their main export was these potatoes. And the entire species got a virus, and they lost all of their potatoes, and they didn't have any other genetics to grow. They grew in that environment, and it was just starvation, and everyone went broke, and there was just like, they lost like 80-90% of their population or some crazy shit. Like almost everyone died because of the potato famine in that region. And bananas, we almost lost all our banana crops because of the same thing. Dole just bred these big old flavorless bananas. And so on my land, I was collecting all these different genetics that were unknown varieties of just random different inbred bananas that I was finding on the island, and I was making a collection, like a genetic gene pool of new genetics that could handle different conditions. If we did do a pole flip and all the conditions, if all of a sudden we weren't subtropical anymore or whatever, some of them might survive. And so to me, breeding cannabis, I had all these different strains of cannabis that nobody else had, and I was breeding them together for new, and